Success, it's never overnight success. It's a lot of work, a lot of years, months of hard work until something becomes known to the masses.
Salute and welcome to Anchored Echoes, a brand new segment on Entrepreneur Middle East, which is hosted by me, Aalia. If you're wondering what salute means, it's hello in Moldovan, and that's because the story of our guest today begins in the Republic of Moldova. That was before she made her way to the UAE and set up her own UAE homegrown business success story. But before I introduce our guest to you, I must, as always, begin with a disclaimer. This is not a podcast. The intention behind Anchored Echoes is for them to simply be short visual supplements to the stories I get to pen down on some of the most established and successful entrepreneurs in the UAE and the wider Middle East region. So before you watch this episode, please know that you can find the written feature on our guest today using the link below or above, depending on where you are watching this. And without further ado, let me introduce you to our guest for today's episode, Marina Rabei, co-founder of AVANTCHA Tea. Marina, thank you very much for being my guest today.
Thank you so much for coming. It's such a pleasure.
Marina, you have the credentials of being one of the first tea sommeliers in the UAE, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that you've grown up in an environment that has prioritized education and gaining knowledge above all else. But we're also living in a time when education, or rather knowledge, is at our fingertips. It's very easy to gain information about pretty much anything through the internet, and now with ChatGPT, it's perhaps even faster. But when we're in the midst of a landscape like that, how much more important do you think it is for startup founders and entrepreneurs to be mindful of the information that they are not just consuming, but also applying to the businesses that they are running? I think it's a long-winded way of asking you, how can we stay curious without sort of burning out with this information overload?
Such a good question. Very true. We live in a time, unprecedented time, with an abundance of information all at our fingertips. Any question, any strategy can be formulated in a few seconds on ChatGPT, which is amazing. It also comes with a lot of challenges, or potential one. How do you judge what information is true and what works for us at that specific point of time? The way we look at it is we stay true to our values, to our goals, and what is right for us now. Education is very important, and to me personally, education and knowledge is about going deep, not wide. It's about understanding how a specific topic influences the current state of where the business is today. How it will help our consumer, how it will help our team, how it helps. So it is very easy to read about different strategies and get very confused. But I guess as a business owner and as a founder, you have to be true to your own values and what your company stands for, what your goals are, and stay true to it.
Very true. Let's come to your story, Marina. You came to the UAE with dreams of being a cabin crew member, which didn't work out, and then you sort of went into the world of sales and marketing in two very different sectors. First was real estate, and then it was shipping. And then you've become the co-founder of this luxury tea brand, AVANTCHA Tea. I'm sure there are a lot of viewers who see this, and sometimes they feel like they can dabble in multiple interests and multiple talents. As someone who has had a very diverse career and diverse dreams and also values education above everything else, what would you say has been the one trait that has helped you thrive across all these diverse industries?
If I have to pick one, that will be being adaptive and flexible. Having multiple interests, it's not a bad sign. It means you actually are curious and you can work in different environments. And being adaptable and flexible to any sort of change, it's an amazing, I think, trait. It helps in situations when, in COVID, for example, that was a very good example. We very quickly changed our strategy where we either created products or we made products available where they were not available before. So being adaptable and flexible and not stuck in your ways is very, very important if you are thinking about starting your own business. And then, of course, the second one, you asked the middle one, but I'll give you a second one, is being resilient.
We're always happy to get more information.
Is being resilient, because success and it never comes overnight. Even if there are stories, overnight success, it's never overnight success. It's a lot of work, a lot of years, months of hard work until something becomes known to the masses.
Yes, right.
So being resilient, yeah.
I think that's a nice segue actually to my final question to you. And this is a question I love asking because I feel like I get very different answers every time.
Yeah.
How do you balance between innovation and your own sense of individuality? When we were speaking for the interview for our written feature, you mentioned how you do not want to create a brand that is necessarily, creating trends every few months. You want longevity to your brand. How have you sort of managed to balance between staying unique and managing, inserting a sense of originality into your brand, while also perhaps keeping up with the trends that are defining the industry you're in?
I think that's a question that every single entrepreneur wrestles with. It's not impossible to balance, but it's tricky. You want to create a product that is modern and is relevant with your consumer base, but then there are these trends that you can capitalize on. So you're like, oh my God, this other tea brand created this drink, or this product. It's cool. Let's create the same. We ask ourselves usually a set of questions. Is it going to enhance the experience of our customers? Are our customers really asking for it? And are they our customers, the ones that are asking? And in the long term, are we going to be proud with what we're creating? And that is basically filtering the trends through our own lens. So we do not say no to all the new trends, but we filter them, and then we create our own interpretation of that specific product or service.
I think that is a wonderful note to end this episode on. Like I always mention at the end of Anchored Echoes episodes, these aren't meant to last more than a few minutes, but we hope that it brings you inspiration that lasts, which is why that is the tagline of the show as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. Like I mentioned at the start of the episode, this is just a visual supplement to the much in-depth, in-detailed written feature that will come out on Marina and AVANTCHA Tea on Entrepreneur Middle East. So please do make sure you read that. And with that, we come to the end of this episode. Until next time.